you're always in the press and stuff like that. It kind of it gets at whatever's left of you, whatever's real.
We've been working on it for a while, and every day it just gets closer and closer to the finished product.
Rihanna and ASAP Rocky say their names, and instantly 1,000 images flood the mind. Blinding flashes of paparazzi bulbs, the roar of stadium crowds, the hushed reverence of fashion show front rows, the relentless churn of the 24/7 news cycle. For years, they weren't merely a celebrity couple, they were an interwoven cultural phenomenon, a self-made dynasty radiating an almost intimidating aura of effortless cool, unparalleled ambition, and untouchable success. Their reign extended far beyond the fickle realms of music and fashion. It permeated the very fabric of modern pop culture, setting trends, dictating tastes, and defining the aspirational aesthetic of an entire generation. From the gilded steps of the Met Gala to the pulsating energy of sold-out world tours, from courtside seats at NBA Finals to clandestine rendezvous in hidden corners of the globe, their every move was meticulously chronicled, analyzed, and dissected, their lives seemingly playing out on a grand, global stage. But now, the meticulously constructed facade, the carefully curated image of invincibility, is showing hairline fractures, subtle tremors hinting at a deeper instability. Storm clouds, heavy and pregnant with foreboding, are not just gathering on the horizon, they are descending with alarming speed, enveloping their once unassailable empire in an ominous shadow. Whispers that were once faint, barely audible murmurs in the celebrity echo chamber are now resonating as deafening headlines, screaming across digital platforms and tabloid front pages, relentlessly broadcasting rumors of a serious and potentially devastating legal battle engulfing ASAP Rocky. And naturally, in the hyper-focused lens of public scrutiny, all eyes, with an almost predatory intensity, are fixated on Rihanna, is the undisputed queen of composure, the woman who has famously navigated every professional and personal maelstrom with an almost preternatural icy precision, finally, demonstrably, reaching her breaking point as this intensely personal and potentially catastrophic high-stakes drama relentlessly unfolds. This is no longer just another fleeting episode of celebrity gossip destined to be forgotten in the next news cycle. It's a palpable and escalating crisis, a real and present danger that threatens to irrevocably shake the very foundations of their meticulously built world, leaving legions of devoted fans and a captivated global industry in a state of stunned, breathless anticipation, wondering if this storm will break them or if they will weather it, emerging transformed and perhaps even more powerful on the other side.
I never enjoyed the music business.
I heard that.
The politics, man, it's like, for me, man, everything that ever worked for me was unorthodox. They follow a certain formula, which is traditional, and, not knocking it. I just don't think that formula applies to this, man.
Delve into the archives, rewind the highlight reels, and meticulously reconstruct the carefully crafted mythology of Rihanna and Rocky, a name that has become synonymous with modern celebrity royalty. Remember the iconic images seared into the collective consciousness of the internet age. Rihanna and Rocky draped head to toe in avant-garde designer creations, radiating an almost defiant, self-assured confidence that bordered on arrogance, yet somehow remained utterly captivating. They weren't merely casually dating, they were a deliberate and potent cultural phenomenon, a perfectly synchronized symbiotic force of unmatched style, raw talent, and undeniable influence that transcended the typical confines of celebrity pairings. Her Robin Rihanna Fenty, the visionary music and fashion mogul, a relentless innovator constantly rewriting the established rules of the entertainment and business game, fearlessly pushing creative boundaries with every groundbreaking album release, every boundary-shattering fashion collection, every shrewd and impeccably timed business venture. Him, Rakim Athalaston Mayers, better known as ASAP Rocky, the downtown darling turned global hip-hop icon, a perpetually trend-setting rapper with an innate understanding of the zeitgeist, always seemingly a step ahead of the curve, effortlessly dictating the ever-shifting parameters of cool with a signature nonchalant swagger that was both envied and endlessly imitated. Together in their carefully orchestrated public appearances, they were more than just the sum of their already impressive parts. They generated pure, unadulterated electricity, a dazzling supernova of combined talent, undeniable charisma, and meticulously cultivated mystique. Revisit their highly publicized collaborations, not just fleeting musical cameos, but deeply integrated fashion partnerships that blurred the lines between art and commerce. Joint appearances at the most exclusive and coveted events on the global social calendar. Magazine covers screaming their names in bold, declarative fonts. Each fleeting public interaction, each carefully posed photograph, each fleeting glance across a crowded room meticulously dissected and analyzed by a ravenous media and a devoted fan base, all desperately searching for hidden clues to decipher the complex and undeniably potent chemistry that pulsed between them. They weren't simply another power couple vying for attention in the crowded celebrity landscape. They were the definitive blueprint for modern power couples in the 21st century, establishing a new, almost unattainable standard of cool, success, and seemingly effortless partnership, appearing to be perpetually immune to the petty dramas, fleeting romances, and predictable pitfalls that so often plague even the most seemingly stable celebrity relationships. But crucially, even behind the dazzling, meticulously maintained glittering facade of perfection, beneath the flawlessly executed red carpet appearances and expertly orchestrated public endorsements, subtle cracks, almost imperceptible fissures were beginning to subtly manifest, faint whispers of underlying trouble, anxieties lurking beneath the surface, and hidden pressures mounting in the shadows. A quiet, almost imperceptible prelude to the gathering storm that was about to violently break, shattering the carefully constructed illusion of their flawless world.
It was a really cool little installation, art installation at this motel, and it was Miguel's party. And we went there, and I kind of just went through rooms, landed on this karaoke room, and I saw Mary J. Blige on, because it was, they had a small list, so I was just fingers crossed they got something in there that I love.
The initial whispers, at first so faint and indistinct they were practically inaudible, more akin to the rustling of leaves in a distant forest than a clear warning sign, started almost imperceptibly, like a low subsonic hum resonating beneath the deceptively calm surface of their public persona. Then, with an alarming and accelerating speed that caught many off guard, those nascent whispers dramatically escalated, rapidly growing louder, more insistent, more pervasive, until they violently erupted, morphing into a full-throated, deafening roar that could no longer be ignored or dismissed. ASAP Rocky, the perpetually composed and effortlessly cool rapper, the very embodiment of unflappable urbanity, was suddenly, shockingly, deeply entangled in a serious, complex, and increasingly opaque legal battle, the precise nature of which remained frustratingly, deliberately murky, shrouded in layers of secrecy and strategic obfuscation, intentionally designed to fuel a raging wildfire of online speculation, breathless conjecture, and increasingly sensationalized rumors. The deliberate information vacuum, the calculated withholding of concrete facts, paradoxically served only to exacerbate the escalating chaos, breeding an even more fertile ground for increasingly outlandish rumors, each more sensational and improbable than the last, transforming the legal proceedings into a twisted game of public guesswork and frantic information scavenging. But amidst the swirling vortex of unsubstantiated gossip, salacious tabloid headlines, and anonymous online pronouncements, one particularly troubling and persistent element cut through the deafening noise like a razor-sharp knife, adding a chilling and deeply unsettling layer of intrigue to the already complex narrative. The relentlessly circulating and increasingly credible rumors of an insidious inside source, a figure shockingly close to home, a person within Rocky's own notoriously tight-knit ASAP mob crew, allegedly making deeply damaging statements and surreptitiously sharing highly sensitive information that significantly and perhaps irrevocably complicates his already precarious legal situation. Betrayal originating not from a rival camp or a disgruntled ex-employee, but from within the supposedly impenetrable inner circle, from the very heart of the ASAP mob brotherhood. It's a profoundly shocking and unexpectedly Shakespearean twist, transforming a seemingly straightforward legal drama into a potential tragedy of loyalty and deceit, adding a heavy and suffocating layer of unease, suspicion, and almost existential dread to the rapidly unfolding narrative. Suddenly, their meticulously constructed, seemingly serene, and perpetually admired world, once the envy of millions and the subject of endless aspirational fantasies, is not just rocked by external accusations and legal challenges, but by the far more emotionally devastating and psychologically corrosive possibility of calculated treachery, deep-seated disloyalty, and calculated betrayal emanating from the very individuals they had implicitly trusted, the people they had considered to be their closest allies and confidants.
The whole fighting the situation with you know, the Brooklyn cats and us Harlem cats, you know, what happened. And I think everybody squared it out like men. And
did you square it out there that night?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And I think
that's unusual.
Yeah, because it's everybody's on a common mutual ground, and it's like we doing it for yams, bro. His moms is there, it's kids there. People ain't come for that. People really want to see a show and celebrate somebody.
And then, in a predictable yet nonetheless dramatic escalation of the media frenzy, as if perfectly choreographed to amplify the unfolding crisis and maximize public engagement, came the inevitable, almost predatory reports, the heavily sensationalized accounts that everyone, from casual observers to hardcore celebrity gossip aficionados, had been breathlessly anticipating, all laser-focused on one central, undeniably captivating figure, Rihanna, livid with rage. Furious beyond all reasonable measure. Meltdown imminent, a public unraveling on the horizon, headlines expertly engineered for maximum clickbait potential and guaranteed viral dramatic impact screamed across every imaginable platform, relentlessly broadcasting the narrative that the usually unflappable icon, the very epitome of cool detachment and strategic composure, was demonstrably, visibly, audibly losing it, teetering precariously on the very precipice of a full-blown emotional breaking point under the crushing weight of the immense and unrelenting pressure. But is this breathless, hyper-dramatic portrayal truly the complete, unvarnished picture, the accurate and nuanced representation of a complex human emotional response in an extraordinarily stressful situation? Or is it, as is so often the cynical yet often accurate case in the world of celebrity journalism, just another carefully constructed, deliberately sensationalized piece of clickbait, meticulously crafted to generate maximum outrage, trigger fervent online engagement, and ultimately drive up precious advertising revenue? Rihanna, the woman who has weathered countless industry-manufactured storms with an almost superhuman level of strategic detachment, flawlessly navigated relentless paparazzi scrutiny with an enviable icy calm, and deflected endless invasive personal questions with a practiced, almost robotic composure that bordered on legendary, known and admired across the globe for her seemingly impenetrable public persona and her meticulously controlled emotional displays. Is she genuinely, authentically on the very verge of cracking, of publicly succumbing to the overwhelming pressure in a dramatic, uncharacteristic, and potentially damaging manner? Or is this perhaps a more subtly nuanced, far more strategically calculated narrative, a carefully orchestrated exaggeration, or even a deliberately planted disinformation campaign designed to further amplify the drama, intentionally misdirect public attention, and ultimately generate even more intense and ultimately profitable interest in the unfolding situation? The genuine truth, as is so consistently and frustratingly the case in the murky, often deliberately distorted world of celebrity gossip and sensationalized media reporting, likely lies buried somewhere deep within the murky shadows, existing in the ambiguous space between genuine, understandable human frustration and blatant, commercially motivated media exaggeration, a complex tapestry of carefully constructed narratives and deliberately obscured realities. But one crucial and undeniable element remains undeniably clear and resonantly impactful. The pressure cooker surrounding Rihanna and Rocky is demonstrably turned up to maximum. The emotional and professional stakes are impossibly, almost unbearably high, and even an ice queen, no matter how historically resilient, strategically brilliant, or publicly composed, might eventually inevitably begin to feel the intense, unrelenting, and potentially psychologically corrosive heat, threatening to melt even the most formidable defenses.
I would say at times, it can be intimidating, but then it's no good because I can't have a guy that is intimidated by me.
Moving strategically beyond the deafening cacophony of sensationalized headlines, breathlessly reporting supposed fury and imminent public meltdown, the critical and far more insightful question that astute observers are now asking is not if Rihanna is reacting, but rather what precisely is Rihanna actually doing behind the carefully guarded gates of her private world, away from the ever-present prying eyes of the paparazzi and the relentless, often cruelly judgmental scrutiny of social media commentators, those who who genuinely know her, who have had the privilege of witnessing her unparalleled strategic brilliance and unwavering inner resolve firsthand, those who understand the intricate workings of her meticulously crafted empire and the formidable force of her unyielding will, intuitively understand that she is fundamentally not the type of individual to simply crumble passively under pressure or react impulsively in a moment of emotional distress. Instead, it is far more probable, and indeed almost certain, that she is currently engaged in a period of intense, laser-focused strategizing, meticulously and methodically calculating her next series of moves in this extraordinarily complex and rapidly evolving situation, treating this crisis not as a personal failing, but as a formidable strategic challenge to be overcome with her characteristic blend of icy precision and ruthless efficiency. Is she working tirelessly and discreetly behind the scenes, leveraging her vast and almost unparalleled network of high-powered, strategically savvy lawyers, world-class crisis management PR gurus, and deeply connected industry insiders to proactively and aggressively manage the rapidly escalating fallout from the legal drama and meticulously mitigate any potential long-term damage to her carefully cultivated brand and her personal reputation? Could she even be actively contemplating a truly drastic, almost unprecedented, and undeniably high-risk maneuver, publicly and directly intervening in the ongoing legal proceedings, perhaps even seriously considering the almost unthinkable step of voluntarily choosing to testify in court herself, a move that would shatter all existing precedents and instantly catapult the already sensational story into the stratosphere of global media dominance? Imagine for a moment the sheer earth-shattering, paradigm-shifting impact. Rihanna, the undisputed global icon, the queen of reinvention, the very embodiment of modern celebrity power, deliberately choosing to take the witness stand in a high-stakes legal battle directly involving her romantic partner. It's undeniably a breathtakingly high-stakes gamble, inviting an immediate and intensely magnified wave of global media scrutiny, unprecedented levels of public attention, and potentially unpredictable legal repercussions. But it would also simultaneously wield an almost unparalleled level of persuasive influence, commanding the undivided attention of the world, and potentially swaying public opinion in a way that few other actions could possibly achieve. Or conversely, is she opting for a more characteristically private, strategically understated, and ultimately far more subtly powerful approach, deliberately choosing to offer unwavering, steadfast, and largely invisible private support to ASAP Rocky, acting as a silent, unyielding fortress of inner strength and unwavering resilience against the encroaching storm of legal and media pressure, working diligently and discreetly behind closed doors to ensure that he possesses every conceivable resource, every strategic advantage, and every ounce of emotional support he needs to effectively navigate this extraordinarily challenging period. Whatever her ultimately chosen and carefully considered strategy ultimately proves to be, you can confidently and unequivocally bet with almost absolute certainty that it will be meticulously planned down to the smallest detail, strategically executed with her trademark blend of ruthless efficiency and calculated precision, and fundamentally imbued with her signature savvy, her unwavering determination to regain and maintain complete control of the narrative, and her fiercely protective instinct to safeguard both her personal and professional interests, and to fiercely defend those she deeply cares about from any perceived external threats.
So it made it really difficult. I just felt like, oh my God, here goes my little bit of privacy, just exposed. Like, it's something that nobody wants anybody to know. So here I am, the whole world knowing.
It's imperative to grasp the sheer magnitude of the unfolding crisis, to understand that this isn't merely a localized tremor confined to the intimate sphere of Rihanna and ASAP Rocky's personal lives. It's a potentially devastating seismic event with the power to generate far-reaching ripple effects, sending shockwaves of instability and uncertainty throughout Rihanna's vast, intricately interconnected global empire. Consider for a moment the breathtaking scope and multifaceted complexity of her meticulously constructed ventures. Fenty Beauty, the revolutionary cosmetics behemoth that didn't just disrupt the industry, but fundamentally redefined its very parameters, challenging established norms of inclusivity and representation. Savage X Fenty, the groundbreaking lingerie and loungewear line that champions body positivity and unapologetic self-expression, transforming the very definition of sexiness and empowerment. Her iconic music legacy, a sprawling genre-bending catalog of chart-topping hits, an era-defining anthem, anthems that have collectively shaped the sonic landscape of an entire generation, solidifying her position as a musical icon for the ages. Her extensive and deeply impactful philanthropic endeavors, reaching across geographical boundaries and socioeconomic divides to positively impact vulnerable communities worldwide, demonstrating a commitment to social responsibility that extends far beyond the typical celebrity platitudes. These are not merely disparate business ventures, they are the interwoven threads of a meticulously crafted global brand, a carefully nurtured ecosystem of influence, commerce, and cultural impact painstakingly built, relentlessly maintained, and fiercely protected at every turn, adding a high-profile, emotionally draining, intensely public, and legally precarious drama of this magnitude into this already impossibly demanding schedule. This relentlessly packed calendar of commitments and responsibilities is an almost unimaginable burden, a crushing weight that would buckle the foundations of even the most robust and resilient individuals. Can even Rihanna, the seemingly superhuman embodiment of reinvention, relentless drive, unparalleled ambition, and strategic mastery, truly and effectively navigate this unprecedented confluence of personal turmoil and professional pressure without it inevitably, irrevocably impacting her meticulously constructed world? Without some hairline fractures widening into visible cracks in her seemingly impenetrable armor, without the carefully calibrated machinery of her empire experiencing some degree of disruption and potential destabilization, the strain, both visible and subtly implied, is palpable, undeniable, raising profound and unsettling questions about the inherent limitations of even the most seemingly invincible figures to successfully juggle intensely personal storms of crisis, while simultaneously maintaining the delicate equilibrium of their complex and relentlessly demanding public lives, all while existing under the constant, unforgiving, and often cruelly judgmental glare of the global spotlight. The potential for collateral damage is immense, the stakes are astronomically high, and the outcome remains shrouded in a dense fog of uncertainty, leaving observers to wonder if this crisis will ultimately serve to fracture and diminish her hard-won empire, or if, conversely, it will somehow serve as a crucible, forging her into an even more resilient, more formidable, and ultimately more powerful force than ever before. However, the unfolding drama, with its increasingly intricate layers of interpersonal intrigue and deeply troubling hints of calculated betrayal, extends far beyond the immediate and intensely personal spheres of Rihanna and Rocky's individual lives and their intertwined relationship. The persistent and deeply unsettling rumors of an insidious insider leak, the alleged act of treachery originating from within the seemingly impenetrable ranks of ASAP Mob itself, throw a harsh, unflattering, and deeply revealing light on the collective as a whole, forcing a critical and potentially damaging re-examination of their meticulously cultivated public image and the very foundations of their carefully constructed brand identity. For years, dating back to their meteoric rise from Harlem street corners to global stages, ASAP Mob has strategically and consistently projected a carefully curated image of unbreakable brotherhood, a tightly knit, almost familial creative collective organically built upon unwavering loyalty, deeply shared artistic vision, mutually reinforcing creative energies, and a powerfully intertwined narrative of collective success achieved against all odds. Is that meticulously crafted, almost romanticized image of unbreakable camaraderie and unwavering allegiance now irrevocably shattered, exposed as a potentially fragile and ultimately unsustainable facade, masking deeper, more complex, and far less idyllic realities lurking beneath the surface of their public persona? Are there previously unseen, long-simmering cracks and fissures within the crew's seemingly monolithic structure? Unresolved resentments, long-suppressed jealousies, and deeply personal conflicts finally and explosively surfacing under the intense external pressure of this high-stakes legal crisis, threatening to unravel the very fabric of their carefully constructed collective identity. The very idea of betrayal, of calculated treachery originating not from external rivals or industry adversaries, but from within the supposedly sacrosanct inner circle, from the very heart of the ASAP Mob Brotherhood, is a chilling and profoundly unsettling reminder of the often brutal realities of the entertainment industry and the inherently transactional nature of even the closest professional relationships, even those that are publicly presented as being rooted in genuine friendship and unwavering loyalty. Is this high-stakes legal battle, with its insidious whispers of internal betrayal and fractured allegiances, inadvertently and tragically exposing the inherent cracks in the very foundation of ASAP Mob's carefully constructed constructed mythology, fundamentally questioning the authenticity and long-term viability of their long-promoted family image, revealing the complex, often volatile, and sometimes precarious realities hidden beneath the carefully polished surface of public camaraderie and collective success. The unfolding saga serves as a stark and sobering reminder that even in the seemingly glamorous and supportive world of celebrity collectives and artistic entourages, loyalty, often touted as the cornerstone of these carefully curated brands, can be a surprisingly fragile, conditionally applied, and ultimately transactional commodity susceptible to the corrosive forces of pressure, jealousy, and self-preservation. And so, the paramount million-dollar question, the question that dominates every industry conversation, every online forum, every hushed whisper behind closed doors, the question that hangs heavy in the air like a gathering storm cloud: what precisely, in meticulous detail, is Rihanna's carefully considered next move in this rapidly escalating and increasingly unpredictable drama? The world, holding its collective breath in a state of breathless anticipation and insatiable curiosity, waits with rapt attention, every eye laser focused on her every move, every subtle gesture, every carefully chosen word, anticipating her imminent response, knowing with near certainty that whatever strategic path she ultimately chooses to embark upon will be demonstrably significant, meticulously calculated down to the most minute detail, and ultimately designed to serve her complex and multifaceted long-term objectives. Will she, in a move that would undoubtedly send seismic shockwaves across the global internet and instantaneously shatter all pre-existing media narratives, finally and decisively break her carefully maintained, strategically imposed silence with a cryptic and enigmatic social media post? A carefully crafted message designed to tantalize and intrigue her global audience, to tease and provoke without revealing too much substantive information, thereby maintaining an element of calculated mystique and strategic ambiguity. Will she opt for a more formal, controlled, and traditionally PR-driven approach, releasing a meticulously crafted public statement through her established network of representatives, directly addressing the swirling vortex of rumors and speculation, attempting to regain a semblance of control over the rapidly fracturing narrative and proactively shape public perception in a more favorable direction? Or, perhaps most intriguingly and unpredictably, will she choose to orchestrate a calculatedly revealing, strategically timed, and carefully curated interview, granting exclusive access to a select highly respected media outlet, allowing her to subtly and strategically shape public perception from a position of controlled narrative authority, all while still masterfully maintaining a carefully calibrated degree of strategic ambiguity and information control? Conversely, could she, in a move that would defy all conventional expectations and further solidify her reputation as a master strategist and unpredictable innovator, double down on her characteristic preference for privacy and opt for a period of sustained strategic silence, doubling down on her calculated opacity, maintaining her signature composure in the face of mounting pressure, and deliberately choosing to let her carefully considered actions rather than hastily chosen words speak volumes, effectively and powerfully controlling the narrative by strategically withholding crucial information in a voraciously hungry media landscape desperate for any fleeting crumb of detail, any hint of insight into the inner workings of her strategic mind. Each potential strategic option, meticulously weighed and carefully considered, carries its own inherent set of carefully analyzed risks and strategically calibrated rewards. And knowing Rihanna's well-documented history of consistently defying conventional expectations, her proven track record of masterfully manipulating public perception, and her unwavering commitment to operating on her own fiercely independent terms, her ultimate, carefully chosen strategic path will undoubtedly be anything but predictable, likely designed to surprise, to intrigue, to provoke, and ultimately to reassert her unwavering dominance and unparalleled control over the ever-shifting narrative, reminding the world yet again of her unmatched strategic prowess and her unwavering commitment to playing the complex game of celebrity on her own fiercely independent and perpetually innovative terms. The pressing, almost existential question isn't simply if she will eventually choose to respond to the mounting external pressure and the relentless internal turmoil, but rather how, in precise detail, she will ultimately choose to respond, and perhaps even more crucially, what the precise nature of her carefully crafted response will ultimately reveal about the true underlying depth, the potential long-term ramifications, and the ultimate, as yet undetermined outcome of this unfolding and deeply captivating crisis. The relentless tide of rumors continues to swirl with undiminished intensity. Sensationalized headlines clash and contradict each other in the chaotic and increasingly toxic media storm. And at the very precise epicenter of this swirling vortex of relentless speculation, unsubstantiated conjecture, and manufactured outrage stands Rihanna, an almost mythical island of unwavering composure and strategic resolve amidst a turbulent sea of chaos and uncertainty. A high-stakes legal battle threatening to engulf ASAP Rocky and potentially derail his career. Persistent and increasingly credible whispers of calculated betrayal and deeply ingrained internal conflict within the ranks of ASAP mob, and the ever-present anxiety-inducing questions and breathless pronouncements surrounding Rihanna's supposed breaking point. The dramatic and volatile convergence of these potent and unpredictable elements has coalesced into a perfect storm of celebrity crisis. A high-stakes saga playing out on the global stage with millions of captivated spectators hanging on every breathless update. The stakes, it is now abundantly clear, are undeniably almost impossibly high, extending far beyond the superficial concerns of fleeting celebrity careers and manufactured public images, reaching into the very core of their carefully constructed personal lives, their intertwined professional destinies, and the long-term viability of their meticulously built global empire. As the world collectively watches, transfixed and endlessly speculating, each new development meticulously analyzed and relentlessly scrutinized, one fundamental and enduring truth, forged in the crucible of years of relentless public scrutiny and unwavering professional success, remains powerfully, undeniably certain. Rihanna is, and has always been, a force of nature, a strategic mastermind, a cultural iconoclast, and above all else, a force to be reckoned with in any arena, under any circumstances, facing any conceivable challenge. Will this unprecedented crisis, this perfect storm of personal and professional tribulations, ultimately succeed in defining them, leaving an indelible and potentially damaging scar on their carefully constructed brand and their intertwined legacies? Or will Rihanna, the undisputed queen of resilience, the master of reinvention, the perpetual architect of her own ever-evolving narrative, once again defy all conventional expectations, skillfully and strategically navigate the treacherous and unpredictable waters of this unfolding saga, boldly rewrite the prevailing narrative, and ultimately emerge from the heart of the storm stronger, more formidable, more strategically astute, and more culturally iconic than ever before? The definitive and ultimately conclusive answer, much like the continuously unfolding, endlessly captivating drama itself, remains deliberately and strategically shrouded in a dense and impenetrable veil of uncertainty, keeping legions of devoted fans, cynical critics, and captivated industry insiders alike in a perpetual state of breathless anticipation, all collectively waiting with bated breath for the next dramatic act, the next unexpected twist, the next meticulously calculated strategic maneuver in this ongoing, high-stakes, and undeniably compelling celebrity saga of resilience, reinvention, and the enduring power of the human spirit to persevere, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable adversity.